What's up, Doc? Welcome to the Docs Get Money podcast. Are you a badass doctor killing it professionally and has bigger dreams than just clocking in and out of the hospital? Do you want to leave behind a legacy that is as lit as an HBCU homecoming? Want to know how other doctors are getting to the big bag? That's right, making 5, 6, and 7 figures without putting on the white coat? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Kimberly, but you can call me Kim or KB. I went from being a burnt out and overwhelmed emergency physician to the founder and CEO of 2 6-figure non-clinical companies and beating burnout along the way. I'm also your business coach, here to help you make money moves to change the world. This podcast isn't just about making money, though. It's about leveling up your life, mindset, and bank account so you can build an empire that's as iconic as Beyonce. You ready? Let's get into it. If you're sitting on a mountain of expertise and wondering if it's possible to replace your clinical income while practicing full-time, I've got news for you. It's not just possible, it can happen in 90 days or less. But only if you create your FIRE offer, your express lane to fast income and a lifestyle that allows you to retire early, all while keeping your day job. Tailored for doctors ready to change lives outside of the exam room, you go from concept to cash in under 90 days as a consultant, coach, or midterm rental business. Think it's a stretch with your schedule? Think again. With the FIRE Offer Combustion Kit, you'll craft your expertise and story into an offer that's too hot to touch and sell it to make your first 4 or 5 figures. Ready to change lives and make bank fast? DM the word BURN to me, Dr. Kimberly, at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram, and let's start a fire. Hey everyone, good evening. Now, I know you probably thought that I was going to be on here a lot earlier, and so did I. It's been a long day. So I am coming to you from my wonderful second bedroom, soon to be my renovated office. On this live, how are y'all doing? Hi, Angie. How are you? Hello. Hey, y'all. Come on in. I am winding down still from my locums assignment. And I'm also trying to open up my refresher. I'm obsessed with these. Hey guys. Hey everybody. I know you guys didn't get on this live to watch me try to open up a drink refresher. I hope you guys are doing well. I asked on my stories today if anybody would be interested in hearing the story of me becoming a 6-figure CEO while still practicing medicine full time, and everybody said yes. So I'm like, well, let me come on here and do this. Like, I asked them on the road coming back to Memphis. So now that I'm here, I figured now would be a good time. So let me introduce myself. My name is Kimberly. I am an emergency physician by training, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I am the CEO and founder of Sherwood Properties. We are a midterm rental company based here in Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm also a business coach for historically marginalized doctors, helping them to start their own non-clinical businesses, just like I did for myself, and grow it to their first 5 figures in my program, from side hustler to CEO. And basically, that's kind of the story that I want to share with you two guys today, is kind of how I got to make 6 figures of non-clinical money. Honestly, it's been about, I think it's 17 months. In 17 months, I was able to do that. I earned my first 5 figures in 7 months in the business, but I wanted to kind of tell you just the key secrets and how I got here. So I think the biggest thing to start with, number one is actually having that vision. I fully wanted to make Sherwood Properties something that would take me out of the game as far as medicine is concerned. Let's backtrack just a little bit. When I when I founded Sherwood Properties, this was I got the LLC in 2021, but I really didn't do anything about it or with it until last year, 2022. I founded it from a place of burnout. I was traveling a lot during COVID, driving around to some of the rural areas here in Tennessee and Arkansas and northern Mississippi, and not really staying in places that contributed to my well-being, especially as a emergency physician that is, in the middle of a global pandemic, still trying to take care of people. I also want to remind everybody back in 2020 and 2021, a political climate was a little bit different. And so a lot of people had a lot of thoughts about what was going on in the regions where I practice. And that affected me a lot because I saw some of the sickest people and, were intubating people and just saw people really impacted by the pandemic. And so that, and the sense of the hours that I was working, and then on top of the places that I was staying and my schedule was being flipped around, that completely caused me to burn out. And being the fact that I already knew that medicine is not something I wanted to always practice full time, I figured that there needed to be something that needed to be done. I had already started investing in real estate. Society loves to tell doctors to invest in real estate because they think we just have so much money that we just need to put it somewhere. And it is a smart way, a vehicle to obtaining long-term wealth. But I will say the way I invested into real estate originally was not a way that was going to get me money very quickly. It was kind of a long-term program, and I really didn't know what I was doing. I was not really paying attention to the money. So that was going okay, but not as well as it could be. And I really was just feeling like I'm sick of investing this way. I felt like more money was being put into a project and I wasn't able to actually see any returns from it. As I became more burnt out from practicing EM, I'm like, well, I need to start doing something that's going to let me see some money every day, or even when I sleep. I need to make some passive income. What am I going to do? So I reimagined kind of my whole real estate investment strategy and decided to go to the midterm rental market and really take care of other traveling medical professionals like myself. I really thought back about how can I help someone else out there that is going through the same journey as me and maybe experiencing some burnout. Statistics show that over 70% of, emergency physicians, and especially traveling emergency physicians, are experiencing some level of burnout or moral injury, career fatigue. So if I knew I was experiencing it and those statistics were so high, then I could do something about it. I clearly knew the solution to the problem. And that was to really create a home away from home from other medical professionals. So that's how I came up with the idea of Sherwood Properties. And I decided to change from my traditional buy and hold. I bought a property. I got in with a partner. We flipped it and we put a renter in it and we were getting rent money from it. But I, like I said, wasn't still seeing the returns. And so I changed that strategy to doing something different where I was obtaining some apartments and then furnishing them and then turning around and renting them to traveling nurses and other traveling medical professionals. So that's my overall, founding of Sherwood Properties, kind of just a high level overview. But last year, around about this time, is when I started to really hone down on where I wanted to go with the business, meaning that I really said to myself that I want to bet on me. I want to make sure that this is a business that I can make sure that I can retire myself from and I can quit medicine off of. That also came at a really dark place for me personally. Last year, I was going through a lot. in my personal life that was very personal and very private. And I felt like I was going through things alone. So for me to also say that I want to build a company that is going to make me at least 6 figures of revenue in the midst of everything looking like, there was something different, that leads me to the second thing that I needed to really have. And that's what I had, is a lot of courage. I had to get into the mindset that I could do it. And I remember sitting in my room, in my other room, not this one, my other room, my bedroom, and just saying, I am so tired, but I've got to bet on me. I have to believe that I am able to do this. If I was able to get through undergrad, a master's degree, Caribbean medical school, but before I got through it, I almost failed out my first semester, figured that out, got through medical school, got through emergency medicine residency as a brand new resident in a brand new program, right? Then I was able to finish, become board certified. I had to run back through some things that I had done in my life to say, you know what, Kim, you should bet on yourself. Every time that you have a problem, you step up to do that. And so that's what I did. I had to remind myself, like I said, of just all of the amazing things that I had accomplished. And if this is another goal that I have, then I have everything that I need to achieve it. And if I don't, I'm always smart enough to go find the answer to whatever question that I've got going on, right? So it takes a lot of courage to sit here and look at yourself and say, I'm not happy, but I'm going to go 100% towards the goals that I want to pursue my happiness and to pursue my bliss and to create what I want to see in this world. So that is the second thing that I would say is in the sauce of what it takes for me, or what it took for me to become a 6-figure CEO now of Sherwood Properties. And the third thing that I would say is definitely it was implementation. It was getting out there and doing the work. It's cute to sit up here in the bed and say, I believe in myself and I'm going to do it and I'm going to be a 6-figure CEO. And then you don't do anything in action towards making that to happen. So I kicked it old school. I did it just like I got into my emergency medicine residency. I was cold calling people. I was asking, for partnerships. I met people that were able to get me deals on furniture. I handed out flyers in the hospital. I talked to nurses. I got in people's DMs on Facebook. I joined Facebook groups. I promoted myself. I learned how to sell and not feel icky about it. Just actually sell from a place of serving someone and helping someone achieve a goal. Meaning, so if you are a traveling medical professional and you're coming to Memphis for your travel nurse assignment, you're going to be here for 13 weeks and you're looking for a housing, well, I have that. And I created this just for you. And here are all of the things that I have done. But yes, this is what I have, but what do you need? What are you looking for? Aren't you looking for a place that's, close to the hospital? I created that for you. Learning how to sell from that place, learning how to market, which is really just talking to people about what you have. And then also operating my business in a way that is efficient, that I can be hands off, that I can be on shift and still able to make a deal and make a sale, making that passive income that I wanted. I've implemented those things very early in my business. And that's how I was able to do it. So it sounds fancy, like, oh my God, Kim, you were able to do this while you were practicing medicine full time? Absolutely. But I think the magic sauce of it really is the first two things that I said, which is really not a lot of actioning per se, but it's a lot of inner work that I had to do. It was me fully deciding what did I want to do? What did I want to see, how much money did I want to make? I wrote that down very specifically, how much money I wanted to make as a goal this year. And then the courage thing was the biggest thing. As a doctor, I'm not trained to sell. Like, I'm supposed to give everything for free because I'm, just here as a healer and I'm just here to help people. And that taps definitely into my hippie healing side. But it's a little bit different when you learn how to sell. I will say, though, selling is a lot like practicing medicine if you're doing it right, meaning that it's a lot less of you trying to tell somebody something, and it's more of you listening and seeing how you can help them and then explaining to them, how your strategy, your tools, your program, your product really addresses those needs. And if any questions come up from there, just addressing that. That's all that sales is. And once I simplified that for myself and made it seem like, well, I don't want to stop making it seem like I don't want to ask people for money, then things got so much easier for me. And I was able to make the money that I wanted, which was to my goal. So that leads me to, I guess, business coaching. Now, once I found out, I think it was Thursday, I was talking to my accountant, and I meet with my accountant every month, talk about, all of my businesses, not just Sherwood Properties, but also my coaching business. And I talked to her about my emergency medicine practice business. And she told me a statistic that blew my mind about Sherwood Properties. She told me that, most businesses want to double in growth, right? So that's 100% increase. But from October 2022 to last month, October 31st, 2023, that Sherwood Properties had 292% increase in revenue. What? That doesn't even sound like it's even fathomable, but she broke it down into numbers. I remember last year I had generated maybe about $2,000 in the business. And I was hustling for that, hustling hard. Okay. Thanks, guys. I see all the fire, and I just, that feels weird to say. And it also is very humbling. But last month, I think the revenue I had collected by that time was about $80K in total. Yeah. And last year I only had 2 apartments. And this year I have 5 rentals. So I am truly blessed. But I say that to tell you that 292% increase in the revenue just didn't come from magic. It came from me putting the vision into place of what I freaking wanted. I knew I wanted out of the ER, and I know I'm a very, very expensive person. Y'all see me going back and forth from these locum assignments. You're going to see me going on vacation next week. You don't see me. I love a good time. I like a bag. I like a car. My car's name is Chanel for a reason. I like Chanel. I like nice things. So I knew that I was going to have to do something, create something to match that same level of hustle and that same level of income. Not hustle, because that's not what I did. I was clearly not hustling throughout this time. But to match the income so that I could be able to still live that life as I was building up Sherwood Properties as well, too. So these strategies, my exact strategy of how I set my vision for my business, how I changed my mindset and got into the mindset of a CEO, and then also how I sell, how I market, and then also how I implement and actually automate things into my business so that things are passive. I teach all of these strategies in my program, From Side Hustler to CEO. That is my 6-month one-on-one coaching program that I have for historically marginalized doctors. And when I say historically marginalized, I get a question about that. This is exactly what I mean. I mean, if you are a woman, if you identify as a person of color, whether that's male or female, if you are LGBTQIA+, if you are neurodiverse, if you are anyone that is not typically looked at as a standard of what a doctor is, even though you are that because you've gone to medical school, dental school, optometry school, veterinary school, then I want to work with you to help you to start a non-clinical business like I did and make at least your first 5 figures. And we can do that in the 6 months. And that's what we do together with my strategies and my tools and techniques. So thanks, guys. Thank you for the hearts. And hey, cousins, I see all these people on here. Let me wave to everybody. So if you guys are interested in talking more about how From Side Hustler to CEO works, or maybe some non-clinical businesses that you could start, maybe the midterm rental thing isn't really speaking to you, which I totally understand. A lot of people also know that as Airbnb. There's a lot of controversy right now and a lot of ups and downs going on in the midterm and short-term rental business. So if that doesn't necessarily spark your interest, the clients that I currently work with are not doing that at all. They are working as coaches. They're working as consultants, and they are growing their product-based businesses as well. So I am more than willing to share my tools and my techniques with you if that also interests you as well. Or if you're not sure, you know what, just hit me in the DMs. Let's talk about it. I'd love to share more with you. But y'all, I've been on this live talking a lot. It is Friday night. I actually have to have a call with one of my clients in the morning. So I am going to jump off live. I'm going to go watch Bell Collective and I'm going to take a nap. But like I said, if you have any questions about From Side Hustler to CEO, I'd love to talk to you more about it. But yeah, you guys have a good night and we'll talk later. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Docs Get Money podcast. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you find your favorite podcast. Share, comment, follow, and subscribe to the Docs Get Money podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to know more, visit me, Dr. Kimberly Brown, at KimberlyBrownMD.com, and be sure to follow me at Dr. Kimberly B on Instagram. And until next time, let's go get this money, honey.